Hello friends, it's Kristie Marcotte. In today's video, I'll be using some new washi tape designs from the Washi tape shop. They always have a fun variety of designs, and if you are shopping at the Washi tape shop, be sure to use my code KristieM10 to save 10% off your order. For my first set of cards, I'll be using the Stamped Wings Washi tape sticker set. There are 3 rolls that are included in this set. I'm showing just one at the moment. I will be using another roll from this set on my next card. The pattern paper I'll be using is from Honeybee Stamp's Marvelous Moments collection. I've already stamped the sentiment Hello, and this stamp is from Scrapbook.com's Sunny Lane stamp set. I stamped the sentiment in the lower right hand corner, and I use dark chocolate ink color from Scrapbook.com. I'm adding a little extra detail using Love from Lizzie peel-offs. This is the pinstripe style in brown with gold overlay color. So it has this beautiful gold shine. I'm adding 2 strips on the left and right side of the sentiment, starting with the medium size. And I'm using the grid line on my craft mat to get those peel-offs at the same position. Now I'll add another peel-off, this time the narrowest width, putting it about 1/8 of an inch underneath the medium width. I'm starting with the longer strip on the left side of the sentiment. Since it's such a short strip on the right side, it's a little harder to determine if I'm getting it nice and straight. So if I start with the longer strip, it's easier to line up that short strip on the right side. I'll wrap the ends around the back, layer this piece on more pattern paper from the Marvelous Moments collection. I'm layering it on some rust-colored pattern paper with polka dots, and you'll see just a bit of it at the outside edge, and I'm using the pattern paper piece just like a cardstock layer. The background pattern paper piece is 5 1/4 of an inch by 4 inches, and the polka dot layer is A2 size, 5 1/2 inches by 4 1/4 inches. Now I'll put more ATG tape on the back and add my card front onto a card base. All of my cards in this video are American Standard A2 size, 5 1/2 inches by 4 1/4 inches. Next, I'll add several of the butterfly images, and I'm having them fly up the card from the sentiment to the upper left-hand corner. I'll start with 2 of the larger butterflies, and because this is a sticker roll, they're all pre-cut, so super easy to remove from the backing. And this is washi tape, so it will blend in slightly with the background. Washi tape is a paper tape, and the images are slightly transparent. So I like to use a lighter color when adding the stickers. If I put them on a darker color, you won't see the true colors of the washi tape images. This roll has a fun variety of different colors. For this card, I focused on the warm autumn colors. I did make 2, and then using some of the cooler colors, purples, pinks, and blues, I made 2 more cards. Most of the cards I'm making in this video will be given to a local organization. They mail out the cards, so they prefer not to have any thick embellishments. So I am leaving off bling for this set of cards. For my next card design, I'm using another roll from the Stamped Wings sticker set. This one has lots of butterfly images inside postage stamps. The pattern paper is from Honeybee Stamp's Marvelous Moments collection, same one I used for the first set of cards. For the background of my card, selected this fun leaf pattern. That piece is 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches. Across the center of the card, I'm adding a light, soft peach floral tone-on-tone piece. And that piece is 5 1/4 of an inch by 1 1/4 of an inch. And I did use the grid lines on my craft mat to make sure to get it centered and straight across the background. Now I'll layer this piece on some dark brown cardstock, and that cardstock layer is an additional 1/8 of an inch. So 5 3/8 of an inch by 4 1/8 of an inch. I'll put adhesive on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. In the center of the card, I'm adding this yellow tone-on-tone pattern. This piece is 4 1/4 of an inch by 3 inches, and I layered it on brown cardstock, and that piece is an additional 1/8 of an inch. I'll be adding one of the larger butterfly postage stamp images, and I'm putting it on a piece of white cardstock. That piece is 1 7/8 of an inch by 2 inches. I selected the orange and yellow butterfly, and it does have the sentiment "Thank you" underneath. I will be layering it on some brown cardstock, and that piece is 2 inches by 2 1/4 inches. And I didn't get this sticker centered, so I did need to trim a tiny bit of the white cardstock and then some of the brown cardstock. That way the white and the brown was even around the postage stamp image. I'll put adhesive on the back, add it on the center of the card. Then on the right and left side, I'm adding one of the individual butterflies. And I'm putting them on a white circle die cut. And the circles are 7/8 of an inch in diameter. I decided to add the same butterfly on the right and left side just to keep it balanced. To adhere the 2 small circles, I'll put barely art glue on the back, then adhere them on the right and left side of the postage butterfly stamp. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. The first 2 cards feature the butterfly with the sentiment "Thank you," and the other 2 feature another large postage image. This butterfly doesn't have a sentiment underneath. It's always nice to have some blank cards on hand, and many of the organizations where I bring cards, they also like to have the blank cards. For my next card design, I've already stamped the sentiment "A Happy Hello," and this is from Pretty Pink Posh's Koala Friends set. You can see the sentiment stamp is very well loved. The washi tape I'm using is Sunlit Meadow. You can purchase this roll individually, or it's included in the Floral Finch bundle, which is a 3-roll bundle, 3 different designs. And these are available in washi tape, and that's what I have, and also the PET tape, which is a clear plastic tape. I'm not using any pattern paper for this card. Instead, I'm creating my own using a bunch of the lovely floral images. I stamped the sentiment first, and now I'll work my way around the sentiment, adding lots of lovely flowers. I'm starting with some of the larger size flowers going in the corners. When I'm placing the stickers, they are going off the edge of this cardstock piece, and this is A2 size. After adhering them, I'll wrap the end around the back. If it's a little too thick, I'll use a pair of scissors and trim off the extra. I'll continue adding floral stickers until I have this lovely floral border all around the sentiment. But I am leaving some white space above the sentiment. I have most of the right side finished. Now I'll start in the upper left-hand corner. And I am layering the stickers. That's the nice thing about the washi or PET tape. You can easily layer the images. Once the left side is finished, I'll fill in that little gap at the very bottom. There are so many different designs, it's hard to pick and choose which ones to use. But a card design like this is great because you can use several stickers on one card. I'm looking for some of the individual smaller flowers to put at the very bottom. I wasn't sure which flower to add down first. I changed my mind after adding the small yellow daffodil, but I was able to remove them since you usually can with washi tape. It does depend on what paper or cardstock you're using. After filling in the white area at the top with a white and light yellow flower, I'll also add some of the bee images. This roll includes bees, butterflies, and ladybugs. Selected the largest bee to put right above the sentiment on the left side. Then I'll add a smaller bee on the right side and one more small bee underneath the sentiment. And I also added a ladybug on the pink flower in the upper right-hand corner. Currently, this is just a card front, and I need to adhere it onto a card base. On the back side, I'm adding some clear double-sided adhesive tape. This is super sticky, so it should hold those wrapped ends of the washi tape nice and secure. I'll put a piece along the outside edges and one diagonal piece in the center. Now remove the release paper and add my card front onto a card base. This is a very simple design, super easy card to make. I love the vibrant flowers on this roll. After removing the release paper, I'll adhere the card front, and I am doing it upside down since I like to attach it at the folded edge first, and I find it easiest to line it up if that folded edge is close to me. I had so much fun making this card, I ended up making two. For my next card design, I'll be using the same Sunlit Meadow roll that I just used, and also the Pixel Dash Slim Washi tape, and this is also available in PET tape. For pattern paper, I'm using two collections from Craft Consortium, Ombre and Grunge light tones. For the background of the card, this is from the Ombre collection, and for the large banner, that's from the Grunge light tones. I am using a card sketch for inspiration. This is from Sketch Saturday. It's number 776. On the card sketch, there's the diagonal strip on the background. Instead of using paper or cardstock, I'm adding 2 rows of the Pixel Dash Slim Washi tape. There are 8 rolls included in this set, all different designs. I'm using one that looks like a branch with teeny tiny leaves. I'll cut the strips a little bit longer than this panel, that way I can wrap the ends around the back. Now I'll put adhesive on the back and layer this piece on some black cardstock. My pattern paper piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches, and the cardstock layer is 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. Next I'll add the large pink banner. Put adhesive on the back, adhere it on the left side of the card. I love the ombre paper for the background. It looks like a beautiful sunrise. It has the look of ink blending, but the card recipient will never know I didn't create that myself. I simply used some pattern paper. Now I'll put adhesive on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. I selected one of the lovely floral images that includes a butterfly, and I'm adding it on a white stitched oval die cut. The stitched oval die set I used is from Sunny Studio. After adhering the sticker down, I'll put barely art glue on the back and attach the oval on the pink banner. This will be another set of cards where I'm not adding the sentiment on the front. I'll be leaving it blank. For a final finishing touch, on this sketch there are 2 small circles in the upper left-hand corner. I'll be adding some black mini circle peel-offs from Love from Lizzie, and I use the medium size. So there is my finished card, and I did make 4 using this design. The first 2 cards, I have the same pattern paper for the background, same washi tape images and diagonal strips. I use different pattern paper images and washi tape strips for the second 2 cards, and the circle peel-offs in the upper left-hand corner are the pink holographic color. For my next card design, the washi tape is the Floral Finch roll. You can purchase it individually or in the Floral Finch bundle that includes 3 rolls. I have the washi tape, and it's also available in PET tape style. Using several of the floral images, I'll be creating a background. I'm starting in the lower left-hand corner and the bottom of the card, adding 3 of the largest size blooms. We have an orange, a pink, and a yellow. And I will have some of the flowers going off the edge of the paper. Just wrap those ends around the back. I'm also overlapping the flowers a little bit. So now I'll add the larger yellow bloom in the lower left-hand corner. Wrap the ends around the back. In the upper right-hand corner, I'll add 2 smaller blooms. I have an individual pink flower and an orange bloom with a stem. I'll add the pink bloom down first, and then the orange next to it in the upper right-hand corner. Again, wrap those ends around the back. I was trying to decide how to place the pink flower. I don't want it to look like it's upside down. I think I have it the correct direction. When adding the orange flower, I'm making sure that stem is all on the white cardstock piece. This roll also includes some lovely bird images. I selected one with a bird in flight, and I'll add it above the large blooms, below the small blooms, and more on the right side. So it looks like the bird is flying up to those smaller blooms. I felt the 3 large flowers needed just a little bit of greenery, so I'm adding a small branch. I did trim off the very bottom stem area since I thought it would look odd overlapping the large pink flower. I'm adding the foliage piece right above the pink flower on the left side. Next, I'll add a sentiment, and I'm stamping it directly onto this panel, so I will use a mini MISTI. The stamp set is from Pretty Pink Posh. It's their Simple Sentiment set, one of my favorite and most used sets. I already have the sentiment set up in my mini MISTI. I'll ink it up using Honeybee Stamp's Intense Black ink, and I will ink the sentiment several times to get a nice solid impression. The hello word looks fine, but I need a little more ink on the just saying portion of the sentiment. So once I'm happy with the sentiment, I will be trimming down this panel. Currently it's A2 size, and I'm cutting it down just 1/8 of an inch. So I'm trimming a tiny bit on every edge. Then after the final cut, this panel will be 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. And I'm layering it on some green cardstock from my stash. The green cardstock panel is A2 size, 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. The green cardstock color matches the green stem on the small orange flower. You'll only see a tiny bit of the green cardstock layer, but I think it gives the card a nice, clean, finished look. Now I'll put ATG tape on the back, add my card front onto a card base. And I'm keeping this card nice and flat, not adding any embellishments. So there is my finished card, and I did make 2 using this design. I made 1 more card using the Floral Finch washi tape, filled the background with lots of beautiful florals, added the sentiment, a happy hello, and 3 of the washi tape butterfly images. For my final card design, I'm using the Sweet Rose washi tape. You can purchase it individually or as a bundle with 2 other washi tape designs. And these are also available in the PET tape style. For pattern paper, I'm using Honeybee Stamp's Textiles and Texture Vintage Collection. I selected this fun design that looks like linen texture, but it's smooth since it's paper. I cut this piece to 3 7/8 of an inch by 5 1/8 of an inch. The Sweet Rose washi tape includes not only images, but also several sentiments. I'm adding the sentiment, a season is in bloom, at the bottom of the card, about an inch up from the very bottom. I adhered it very slowly, making sure it was nice and straight. Next, I'll add 1 of the large floral clusters right above the sentiment. Since the washi tape is slightly transparent, I love how you can see the linen texture of the pattern paper on the flowers. I didn't like the placement at first, so I did remove it. That very bottom petal of the white flower was touching the sentiment, so I moved it up just a tiny bit. On the right and left side of the sentiment, I'm adding some of the individual pink buds. Put the larger one on the left side, the smaller one on the right, and they're curving out toward the outside edge just a little bit. This roll also includes several designs that look like small pieces of washi tape, which is kind of funny since this is washi tape. I'll be adding 2 of the narrow strips in the upper left-hand corner, starting with the lighter pattern. This piece is longer than I need, so I will trim off the extra. And I'm keeping that cutoff piece. I may use it on a future project. On the right side of that lighter color, I'm adding a piece with the torn edge, kind of at an angle. It's a light purple, and I'll do the same thing, trim off the extra. Then I'll wrap the ends around the back. At the bottom of the panel, underneath the sentiment, I'm adding some Love from Lizzie peel-offs. This is the white color with gold overlay, so it has this beautiful shine. I'm adding the widest and the narrowest width, and this is the pinstripe style. I started with the widest width, then I'll put the narrowest width underneath about 1/8 of an inch below it. And I am cutting them a little bit wider than this pattern paper piece. With that extra bit, I'll simply wrap the ends around the back of the pattern paper piece. Now I'll layer this on some dark brown cardstock, and that piece is 4 1/8 of an inch by 5 3/8 of an inch. Then I'll put more adhesive on the back and add my card front onto a card base, leaving 1/8 of an inch of the white card base showing. With a very light pattern paper background, I wanted a wider dark cardstock border, and I think the brown color works perfectly. I love how this card turned out, and it was super simple to make. So there is my finished card. I made 2 with the same images and sentiment, and I made 2 more with the other sentiment. Happiness is a garden full of flowers. I put the 2 washi tape strips in the upper right-hand corner and added a little pink butterfly above the roses. The Sweet Rose washi tape is so pretty. I love all the pink color. Now here's another look at the 21 cards I made using an assortment of washi tape designs from the Washi Tape Shop. They always offer a fun variety of different styles. If you are interested in any of the products I used in this video, I do have links in the description box below. And if you are shopping at the Washi Tape Shop, don't forget to use my code KristieM10 to save 10% site-wide. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.